Good morning. We've got a 2005 F-250 with a 6-liter diesel, of course. It has a leaking EGR cooler. The funny thing about this is that it didn't really have all the classic symptoms. There's no steam out the exhaust after a hot soak, no hydrolock after a hot soak. So what I discovered was the leak is pretty minute. And I actually, when I leak tested the cooler after I got it off, just to kind of verify that it was leaking, I actually had to run a torch through it and heat it up to get it to leak. So anyway, one of the ways that I do test these when I have a question about it is I'll pull the EGR valve off and take the cooling system pressure tester here and put a little pressure all the way up to cooling system pressure if necessary on the cooling system, and then start it, and then you can observe the EGR hole. When you pull the valve out, you'll actually see some coolant come out of there. The exhaust pressure will push coolant up and you'll see it come in there, and you know, that's a good way to verify it, especially in a situation like this. I mean, you may not be pushing coolant out with your cooling system pressure, but the exhaust pressure is going to blow any coolant that's sitting in the cooler where it's not supposed to be, in the exhaust part of it, and it's going to push it up into that hole, and you'll actually see it. So when you start a cold engine and you do that test, you're actually going to see some condensation coming out of there, because part of the combustion process is going to be H2O water. So when it's cold, you're going to see some condensation, but when you see the coolant, you'll actually see, you know, it'll be brown, kind of a brown color coming out of there. So depending on what coolant it has in it, but usually it's going to be a brown color. So that's what you want to watch out for. So the other telltale signs were the up pipe that feeds the EGR cooler. You know, generally it's going to be from where the cooler hooks in up to the, where it attaches to the turbo, it's split in there. You're going to see that side is going to have evidence of having water, you know, or coolant going through it. It'll be pretty clean in there. Plus the scoop in the back of the up pipe there's a scoop in there that catches the exhaust and directs it into the back of the EGR cooler. It'll be pretty clean too. It shouldn't have any soot on it. So another thing that I noticed on these is that they'll, bank one intake ports are all clean, like they've had coolant going through them, and the left side is got a lot of carbon, and you know, like they normally look. So I don't know why that is. I think it has something to do with the design of the intake manifold. It's not designed for solids or liquids to go through. It's designed for air to flow through, and when you start putting a liquid through there, for some reason it all seems to end up on this bank one over here on the passenger bank. But anyway, pretty straightforward. The other symptom that this had is it was pushing a little bit of coolant out under load out the degas bottle, not very much. So I don't think we have a blown head gasket. I have seen the EGR cooler do that before. So got an EGR cooler coming, gonna get it in there, and then we'll go test it. So anyway, thanks.